It's Mundo in the Morning. Now on FM at 95.7. Set a preset on your radio. KCMO Talk Radio.
Did you do your job yesterday, Mark? Did you watch Jimmy Kimmel live? Did you stay up? Did you watch it? Now you can put in for the hazard pay, or did you not do what you were asked to do as a member of this show?
I did watch, and I lost my bet. So I'll just say that. And the Royals were winning, so that was fun, too.
Oh, gosh, blame it on the Royals. John, were you watching last night?
I did.
Oh, you did?
I was curious about whether I would be right.
Oh,
no apology.
Oh, man.
And I was hating every minute of it because he was just bragging and gloating about everybody tuning in to look at him.
Oh, my gosh. Well, you guys beat me to the punch. I went to sleep my normal time about an hour before Kimmel comes on. I watched it early this morning on YouTube, and you're right, it did have millions of views racked up already. Don't get used to it, Jim. I promise you, okay? It's not going to be on the regular.
Drop-off comes to mind.
Yeah. So last night, Jimmy Kimmel gets up on stage and delivers a fake apology to the American people. Jimmy Kimmel, of course, was suspended 1 week ago for a comment that he made about the Charlie Kirk assassin when he came out and he said this. In case you want to go back in time to last Monday, this is what got Jimmy Kimmel put on suspension.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
So now Jimmy Kimmel turns himself into a martyr last night, is what he did. Jimmy Kimmel spent a few days being suspended. ABC made it very clear 2 days ago this was their decision and nobody else's. Now, some of the TV station owners around the country, Nexstar and Sinclair, are not bringing back Jimmy Kimmel to their TV stations, and that is absolutely their right. It's called the free enterprise, free markets, free business. Okay? They are making that decision. ABC is making its decision. None of this is involved with the FCC, despite what some of the conspiracy theorists are trying to make you believe. So with that being the case, Kimmel gets up there last night, and, he's got a chance to really just say, I screwed up. And I know it's not a popular thing to do right now, regardless of political affiliation, to be like, I tell a lot of jokes. I say a lot of things. Sometimes it's not going to come off right. Sometimes my points aren't going to be salient. Sometimes I just step in it. It's part of the job. It happens. And I apologize. But he couldn't get himself to do that. And that was the most frustrating and disappointing part of the whole bit.
I've been hearing a lot about what I need to say and do tonight. And the truth is, I don't think what I have to say is going to make much of a difference. If you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. I have no illusions about changing anyone's mind. But I do want to make something clear because it's important to me as a human.
No, but here's the thing, though. Let me just stop right there. That's such a cop-out. Well, there's no point in me apologizing because I can't say anything that's going to make you like me anyway. Well, I mean, yeah, that's true. There's nothing that Jimmy Kimmel could have said that would have made me say, hey, I'm going to watch this guy every night. That is true. But it's a total cop-out when you're asked, and frankly, if you want to be the adult, if you want to be the big man, all you have to do is say, I made a mistake. This meandering setup of, well, I'm old Jim, and I know most of you watching probably don't like me anyway, and, there's nothing I can say that's going to make you feel bad. That's not the point. That's not the point, Jim, okay? If you get into a debate or a conversation or an argument with your significant other, all right, you admit when you screw up. That's just what you do. Stop with this whole setup and this whole meandering, it doesn't really matter anyway.
And that is, you understand that it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man. I don't.
He turns on those crocodile tears real fast.
That's my
Holy
pet
smokes. Peeve. I don't know how he does it.
Exactly, on cue.
I mean, that's a skill right there.
Oh, he did it about his kid and Obamacare. That's what originally got me years ago.
I know. He's broken it out, many times from what I've seen on social media. Once again, not that I'm watching, but man, he turned those things on real fast.
I don't think there's anything funny about it. I posted a message on Instagram on the day he was killed, sending love to his family and asking for compassion, and I meant it, and I still do. Nor was it my intention to blame any specific group for the actions of what it was obviously a deeply disturbed individual. That was really the opposite of the point I was trying to make, but I understand that to some that felt either ill-timed or unclear, or maybe both. And for those who think I did point a finger, I get why you're upset. If the situation was reversed, there's a good chance I'd have felt the same way. I have many friends and family members on the other side who I love and remain close to, even though we don't agree on politics at all. I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone. This was a sick person who believed violence was a solution, and it isn't. Ever. And also, selfishly, I am a person who gets a lot of threats. I get many ugly and scary threats against my life, my wife, my kids, my coworkers because of what I choose to say. And I know those threats don't come from the kind of people on the right who I know and love. So that's what I wanted to say on that subject.
Where do you even start with that? Let's start on the back end. Hey, I'm the real victim here. I get threats too. That's Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah, people say mean things to me as well. I might get direct messages in my inbox that don't make me feel good. That's how Jimmy Kimmel puts a bow on this apology? Less than 2 weeks after Charlie Kirk is murdered in front of thousands of people in real time, seen by millions around the world. Well, I've gotten some nasty letters as well. That's where you're going with this thing, Jimmy Kimmel? Are you kidding me?
You smell what I smell? I'm getting gaslit out here, man. I can hardly breathe. That very first statement he made in the thing was a lie.
Yep. He goes on to basically say, this was the crux of it, and this is on the text line 913-408-7957. Pete, his entire apology was basically, I'm sorry if that's how some of you took it. And that is spot on the text line.
Mm-hmm.
Pete, I think Jimmy Kimmel went to the John Boehner Drama School. That is well done. He would break out those crocodile tears as well. This is basically what I expected from Jimmy Kimmel. And he made himself into some free speech warrior, is what he tried to do last night. And that's not what any of this was. Because I want to actually take you back to a week ago at this point. Everyone says that FCC Chairman Brendan Carr made these comments about how, well, ABC, we can do this the easy way or the hard way about Kimmel. So let's be clear. ABC puts out a statement about Jimmy Kimmel being put on suspension on Wednesday. Brendan Carr makes those statements in a podcast, The Benny Show, that gets released at about 1:15 in the afternoon on Wednesday. This notion that everybody heard the Benny Show podcast and then ABC was like, oh my goodness, we have to put Kimmel on suspension because of what was said on the Benny Show podcast. Now, Benny Johnson has a huge audience. He used to work with Charlie Kirk. He now does his own show, very popular on YouTube and podcasts and elsewhere. I believe the show's actually part of the Cumulus Podcast Network, if I have that right. So this idea that ABC executives are watching the Benny Show and they see Brendan Carr make these comments and they see it right when the show drops. You know how this stuff works as well. Sometimes they take a day or two for the main comments to come out and they immediately suspend Kimmel. That's not how any of this works. That has been a fabrication from many of those who believe that this is all some kind of top-down, Trump-doing, FCC-driven suspension. ABC didn't say that. ABC never went down that road. ABC never alluded to it. This decision was an ABC decision, and maybe in part it was made by the people that own the TV stations, the Sinclairs, the Nextstars of the world. That's entirely possible that they were also part of the decision-making. But please, This Gestapo, mafia-esque approach that they want to concoct in their own minds has never been backed up by reality. Now, should Brendan Carr have gone on there and said what he said? I don't believe so. I think it's a bad look for him. I do. And I think it's a bad look for the FCC. And I vehemently disagree with the FCC getting involved in anything political. But I also understand his point. ABC is not the same as CNN or MSNBC or Fox News. When you're on cable, you can basically say or do whatever you want, for better or for worse. This is still America. ABC, NBC, CBS, it's a different ballgame. And it's fair to have that nuanced conversation. But I don't think it can be done right now because Jimmy Kimmel has become a martyr in the eyes of many on the left, which is crazy to me. The right's martyring Charlie Kirk, who got murdered in broad daylight while speaking, while using his First Amendment right. Meantime, they've turned Jimmy Kimmel into some kind of a martyr on the other side because he got put on suspension for saying something factually inaccurate on a major broadcast network and using very poor judgment from Kimmel all the way down to the associate producer. I promise you, these two martyrs are not the same, okay? They're not.
They're trying to justify a lie, right? There's nothing about his opinion. We all agree he has a First Amendment right. It was a lie, and we're trying to mask that and other issues.
Yes, and that's exactly what happened last night. And I really thought that Kimmel, I didn't think he was going to do this, but there was maybe a 1% chance that Jim could have basically come on and done a show that was just like Carson-esque. That was, hey, I apologize, and then do an apolitical comedy show. Because he had the biggest audience he's had in years, if not ever, last night. It would have been actually an opportunity to build and basically hit the reset button on what the show is and who Jimmy Kimmel is. And I didn't think that was going to happen. It obviously didn't. But that would have been, from a business perspective, a really smart approach. To say, you know what, I screwed up. It was a learning lesson for me. I'm reflecting, and we're doing just a comedy show here. Everybody's fair game. But no, it was back to the same old song and dance. It was back to the same old nonsense. And it'll be up to ABC and, the local stations around the country as to whether or not they want to keep carrying that. But after last night, where you get the huge ratings bump, it's going to be back to business as usual. And maybe there's some on the other side who once again treat this guy as a martyr and tune into him for a few weeks. But eventually, it's going to be right back where it was. And then that decision that's going to be made will be a free market business decision, not a cram down from the FCC, no matter what some conspiracy theorist is trying to convince you of.